In this video, I'm going to share with you guys why I want at least 1,000 flux, if not more, before this next bull market, because I believe that flux can 10x from the current prices and even more into this next bull market. So we're going to dive into exactly what flux is and what it plans to do, because we've all heard about the cloud infrastructure and exactly what in the world is that. Well, to put it simply, if we take a look at some of the top leading cloud infrastructures out there in the market currently, if we're talking about some big names, we have Amazon. Of course, we're talking about Amazon Web Services. This is both a storage and cloud infrastructure that many people use on the internet, and it's all owned by Amazon. Obviously, Microsoft has a very similar service. Google Cloud, I mean, if you haven't heard of that, not too sure where you live. I mean, if you have an iPhone and it's always asking you to update your storage or to buy more cloud storage, well, this is essentially what the cloud infrastructure is. So the big difference between Flux and all of these mainstream competitors is that Flux is decentralized, meaning that no one particular person or company owns Flux, but rather it's a group or a collection of people who own this network. If we take a look at Amazon Web Services, you know that that is owned by Amazon, and who's making money? It's essentially Amazon. So Flux is essentially building out the same thing. It's decentralized, and as we can see right now, there are about 14,500 nodes active. They have about 6,830 terabytes of SSD, and they have over 100,000 V cores. So obviously this network is massive. And if we take a look at the current price of Flux, it's sitting at 46 cents. And we know that the bear market has absolutely crushed so many cryptos, and now is a great time to pick a few of them and to start investing, in my opinion. Of course, this is not financial advice, and this is one of the reasons I want to own at least 1,000 Flux before we have this next bull market. If we take a look at the price of Flux, if we go to an all-time chart, we've seen a high of roughly $3 on Flux. This was back on January 2022, and as we are making this video, it's sitting at 46 cents. So in my opinion, when the next bull market comes and even more money gets injected into Web3, Flux is very well positioned in this decentralized aspect of cloud infrastructure, and I do see a lot of money pouring into Flux. If we dive deeper into what is Flux, it is a massive ecosystem. It is decentralized computing services. It's a blockchain as a service. They have this decentralized infrastructure. They have this cloud operating system. They also have their own Zelcore wallet, and they have governance, they have economics, and they have parallel assets, which we are going to get into in a second here. And there are so many projects already utilizing the infrastructure that Flux has built, and they are building on top of that. If we take, for example, KDEX, and we also have Presearch, two of those projects that I'm actually personally invested in them, they are using the Flux ecosystem to build on top. So as you can see, you can deploy apps, you can have the Flux drive, which is your storage space on the cloud. You can launch nodes, you can actually mine Flux, you can stake Flux, and you obviously have the Flux dApps. If we go further in details with the parallel assets, this is what I love also about Flux. The fact that it's super easy to go from chain to chain. You have parallel assets on the Kadena blockchain, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Tron, AVAX, as well as Ergo. And these are probably going to continue expanding throughout the coming years. But these parallel assets, you can also earn them as you are mining Flux, and you can also utilize these parallel assets to go from chain to chain in a very easy way with these Flux dApps. You can bridge your funds very easily from chain to chain. Now, if we go ahead and we take a deeper dive into the proof of work mining as well as the nodes they offer, as we can see, the rewards are split 50-50 between these two categories. And you can either do proof of work mining, which is essentially GPU mining, or you can have one of these nodes that they offer, which is a staking service. Now, if we take a look at the staking aspect of it, you have three different options. You have the Cumulus nodes, you have the Nimbus nodes, and you also have the Stratus nodes. Now, as we can see, each of these nodes require a different amount of flux as collateral, and the first tier being 1,000 flux for your Cumulus node. Now, at the current price of flux, which is 46 cents, you can understand that this is about $460 to run one of these Cumulus nodes as the staking requirement of flux. Now, obviously, if you take a look at the amount of flux you are going to be able to get per month, this is about 12 flux per month, and you also have 8 flux as parallel assets, and these could be the range of the different parallel assets we've seen either on these different blockchains. Now, this is also one of the reasons I want to get 1,000 flux. I would like to run a Cumulus node. Ideally, I would like to run a Nimbus node because it's much more appealing in terms of monthly rewards, but 12,500 flux is around $5,000, and that is simply just out of my price range for now. And you can also see the Stratus rewards are much more appealing, but you need to have 40,000 flux as collateral. Now, another thing to consider is the way you run these nodes. It's either through a virtual private server or a VPS, or if you have the required hardware at home, you have to take into account those fees as well. Now, last but not least, there's actually another way of staking your flux. If you don't meet these requirements or you don't want to have a VPS or the specified hardware for this, you can actually participate in their Titan node, which is essentially a staking program that you can decide to lock up your flux for a certain amount of time if there is room in this Titan shared node program. And as you can see, you have these different APRs depending on how long you want to lock your flux. So this is an alternative to having your own flux node or to actually mining flux with a GPU. There is an alternative here for you to earn some passive flux. But taking a look at the interactive map within the Zelcore wallet, you can see all of the different nodes that are currently active. You have the breakdown between different node sizes, and you can see the decentralization of this network. And it's not just one server, it's not just a couple servers, but it's actually a massive amount of different people who are running these nodes, and this is what is powering the Flux ecosystem. Now, in 2023, I do believe that Flux is going to continue building out this ecosystem. I also believe that as we get closer and closer to this new bull market, Flux is definitely going to surpass its all-time high of about $3. I do believe that Flux can go to $4, $5. Again, I am not an expert here. It's not financial advice. These are my predictions, and I do believe that Flux has the capability to go up there, especially with the ecosystem that they are building. So with all of that being said, those are the few reasons why I want to have at least 1,000 flux before the next bull market. Right now sitting at 46 cents. I do believe it's a great time to dollar cost average into flux. That's going to be something I'm looking to do. Again, it's not financial advice. Your money, your choice. You guys get to do whatever you want. But I do believe that Flux is going to be one of those ones that you need to keep an eye out, especially for the future, as it is bringing a lot of utility to the Web3 space. Now, with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.